Welcome to the Life of Hair. In this episode we're going to do a balayage refresh technique. This beautiful model has not had her balayage done for 3 to 6 months. I can't remember now what she said exactly, but it's pretty grown out. We're going to use an extremely simple technique to refresh this balayage, and it will create a perfect blend between her natural and her existing balayage that she has. We simply place a horseshoe section that runs through the parietal ridge and in between the crown and the occipital bone. We then weave out sections as if we're doing highlights. We apply product to the hair using horizontal brush strokes and then vertical brush strokes to soften out any lines. Once we've saturated the hair with enough product, we can simply put a foil underneath. On the rest of this technique, I will be using a foil, but I just wanted to demonstrate on this right hand side of the head that it is not essential to have a foil in place, but you will not get the maximum lift from the lightener. If you're not going to use foil, it is very important that you control the amount of product that is left on the hair when you drop the section. In the next couple of weeks, I hope to bring you a video where I am going to do exactly that, a foiling or highlight replacement technique where we do not use foil to highlight hair with. But that's not what we're doing today. This is about refreshing balayages in the most simple way possible. Hot tip there, guys, keep the tip of the board clean. It is very, very important to keep the tip of the board clean. Bleach can get on the underneath side of the board, and that can put bleach in places you really didn't want in. Also, the bleach can build up on the end of the board, and you don't want that either. Round her face, we're going to do a beautifully soft face frame. This is a technique that sometimes I see people struggling with. This technique I find incredibly simple. You paint up to the root on the bottom half of the weave of the section. And on the top half of the weave, you paint 1, 2 or 3 centimeters away from the root, dependent on the desired result. The closer the roots to the roots you go, the more of a bold piece you'll get in the front. So in this particular instance, I want something very soft. So the first half of that weave has gone right up to the root, and the second half will go 3 centimeters or so away from the root area. This will give me a seamless face frame. Nothing like Jerry Halliwell Spice Girl style, but if you want that, you can also utilize this technique. Just paint both parts of this section right up to the root and you will get that exact look. Next section, 1 inch away from the previous section, regular weave, diagonal line, keeping things very simple. Make sure your board is clean. Place the board a little bit further away from the head on some sections than others. This will give you beautiful blending afterwards and save you a lot of time with toner work. using those vertical brush strokes to soften out any of the product that is closest to the scalp. That will also save you time in the long run. One-inch sections. We're working through the head in this exact fashion all the way through. This section will be slightly further away than the last one, and that will ensure that we will get that ultra soft blend with this technique when we have finished. First section right up to the hairline. And the subsequent section, it's exactly the same slice of hair, just this is the top of the weave and the first section is the bottom, and this one is 3 centimeters away from the scalp. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, and I see a lot of people complaining about the time it takes to do balayage techniques. One of the main reasons I wanted to bring this technique to you today was just to show you that you can refresh those balayages in no time at all. This whole technique took me no more than 25 minutes to put in. It is absolutely foolproof when it comes to applying this technique to the hair. One of my absolute favourites, because you really cannot go wrong. The weaving creates an automatically soft effect, and the highlights just blend out those old balayages absolutely seamlessly. Remember, the important things are to keep each of the sections one slightly higher, one slightly lower. That really helps with the blending of this hair colour anyway, but it's something that you can easily forget and do them all to the same point, and it makes life much more difficult. Also, be really disciplined about keeping them 1 inch apart. This technique is more about the hair you don't paint than the hair you do paint. Less is always more when it comes to this technique. And there we have it, the foils are removed. You can see already that it's looking beautiful. Subtle highs and lows in the hair really help. This technique was done for Redken's Facebook Live event with me. If you want to see that Facebook Live, then head over to Redken's Facebook page, and it's one of the first videos. We're talking about some of the latest technologies of lightener that Redken are bringing out and some beautiful shades. And there is the finished look, a seamless blend from her natural to our old balayage, a technique that is so straightforward it seems crazy. But do give it a try, guys, and if you do, then I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed it and you've taken something away from this, then do me the favour of subscribing to the channel and giving me a thumbs up. I shall see you all next week for another episode of The Life of Hair.